Mad King Redemption. It is an interesting little couch co-op roguelite beat 'em up style game. I was browsing around the Xbox store and I saw this had just recently come out. And not gonna lie, it really took an interest to me because I loved the way the art style looks. And of course, I am a sucker for roguelike or roguelite games. And so I decided to give it a test run. The game starts you off with 4 unique characters, each with different stats and unique abilities that you can use in battle. You have Valraven, who is an overall balanced character with slightly more attack, who can block with his sword. Then you have Brannock, a wrestler who uses his hands instead of a weapon. He has higher attack and defense, but lowered agility, so his attacks come out a little slower. His special lets you grab and throw opponents. Next, we have Darkblade, the assassin. She has about medium attack and defense, but high agility, so she moves around a bit faster and attacks even quicker, and her ability allows you to dodge attacks or go through opponents. Next, you have Elowen, the sorcerer. Somewhat higher attack, a little bit higher agility, but lower defense. This character is kind of a mix, but he's able to heal himself and his ability summons a creature to your side to help fight with you in battle. Each character, except Elowen, also has a left bumper move that will do a high damaging AoE attack that will get enemies off of you and you can kind of combo it with some of your attacks. Not only that, at the very beginning of a run, you're given 2 options, and these options are a forbidden power tied to your right bumper. These powers have various effects. Some of them could be AoE, some of them could be just single target damage, but it's usually just tied around dealing more damage to opponents, just giving you more options to attack with. Now, this forbidden power has a much lower cooldown from your left bumper ability, but it comes with a cost. Every time you use this ability, it fills up this meter that when it reaches full charge will turn you into this super powerful being able to do a lot of damage. However, if you run out of that meter at the wrong time, it will cost you, leaving you stunned and able to be hit numerous times. Before and after every run, though, you go to this main central hub, which will allow you to buy upgrades or even go to a blacksmith to get these items or consumables that you're able to use in the middle of these runs. Or even buy some armor to give yourself before you go in, so you take a little bit more damage before you start taking health damage. Now, normally I don't really play beat 'em up games all that often, but this game does do a great job of capturing that feeling, and with the roguelite elements, it does keep me coming back playing it more and more to see how far I can get. But not only do you fight with your weapons or anything like that, you even have throwables that you can use, and there's a mount in the game that you can hop onto and deal even more damage. Not gonna lie, whenever I hop on one of these guys, it definitely gives me that Donkey Kong Country vibe when you get on those creatures, then you just annihilate everything in your path. That kind of happens in this game too. But when you get hit, it's kind of like Yoshi where you'll be hopped off of it, and you're able to get back on it again, but after a few hits, it does just tend to run away. One thing though that I will truly say about this game that I find the most appealing is the art style. Whoever did the art, fantastic job. The pixels, everything, the environment, all of it just looks clean. It looks great. A lot of these pixelized games or anything like that, 8-bit games, whatever they are, usually have this like sort of, it looks a little blurry sometimes. But this one, whenever I first saw it in the trailer and then playing it, it just looks so good. From the characters themselves, to the environment being destroyed, to even the special effects, the lighting, everything about it just clicks. Even the combat in this game feels really good. Sometimes it's a little off, but I mean, that kind of happens whenever you're playing a 2D, 3D style beat 'em up brawler. Which is something I forgot to mention at the very beginning of the video. This is a 2D style game in a 3D environment. So not only do you have to worry about enemies to your left and right, you also have to worry about enemies above you or below you or anything like that. But I haven't seen too many enemies that are like in a place above you and throw items at you from above or anything like that. So it's usually at least on your level, so you don't have to go up to a certain area to hit an enemy, or you don't have to go down below somewhere to hit another enemy. And the game really does a nice job of balancing a few things here or there, where they'll have like 1 or 2 enemies that'll throw something at you, or they'll have some enemies that will rush you, jump you. They have a wide assortment of that. But unfortunately, I wasn't able to get too far into the game. I got at least to the second biome, but I will say that there are a few bugs in the game. Now, I know the developers say at the very beginning of the game and stuff like that, that it is in a early access state. So there will be bugs, glitches, and amongst other things that will kind of prevent you from progressing or make you even have to restart the game. What you're witnessing on the screen right now is actually in the tutorial. I had literally just turned on the game, played it, or I was just starting it, looked at the characters. This is like 5 minutes into the run. And I think this section is supposed to teach you to run forward, to sprint, and get to this area quickly. But I think I stepped on the barrier and I just walked backwards out of it and I couldn't go back through. And this made me actually have to press start and go back to the main menu and start it over again. And after I finally got past the first boss, I was able to progress to the next biome. And I got like halfway through it, I want to say, and I went to go talk to this NPC, and I'm assuming it's part of the storyline or something like that, but it wouldn't give me the option. And I do think that this was a very important part of the storyline or something, because after I tried numerous times to jump back and forth and talk to him, when I beat the area, it didn't let me go any further. It put me in an infinite loading screen, and I sat here for a very long time wondering what did I do wrong. But I think it might have something to do with the biome itself, because this isn't the first time. I don't have the footage, but I was on my ROG Ally X, and I was just going into the second biome. I had just started the run, and it put me in another infinite loading screen. Not only that, there are some of the environments that you can actually just straight walk through. And some of them are quite innocent, where you just go through this, nothing really happens, and this happens in some of the environment. But I did have this one time where I was playing this character, and I just fell through the floor. Now, luckily, all I had to do was backtrack to a previous floor, and this didn't happen again, but it was always on my mind that I hope that this wouldn't occur once more. And I apologize in advance if all I sound like I'm doing is complaining, but honestly, I will admit that I'm a bit of a pessimist and other stuff like that. I see a lot of the negatives. But one thing that really, really annoyed me was all of the ads that would spawn when I went to go destroy these barrels or boxes looking for health, gold, or armor. And I do believe that these things are intentional, because it's kind of a risk of you doing that. But at the same time, it's like I kind of need to do it, especially if I'm low health or anything like that. But the problem, though, is that some characters can deal with them quite quickly, but others can't, such as this character right here. Sometimes his attacks are too slow to deal with them, or they're attacking above the ad, so they'll just be hitting you for free. Not only that, the ads don't spawn like a little bit away from you. Sometimes they do, but a lot of the times they will spawn right at your feet, and it will make you take a bunch of damage just for free. In the clip above right here, I spawned so many of these things just trying to fight other creatures. And when I tried to attack them, because my attack was coming out so slow, I had to get further away from where they should be and let them walk into my attack. It was very frustrating, and I lost so much health just to like one of these guys or multiple of them attacking me all at once. Like, honestly, in my personal opinion, these spawn rates of them should be toned down at least a tad. Or maybe change how it works. Maybe have one enemy that's on the screen go and attack some of these boxes or these destructibles, and those will spawn the ads. And if I go to attack these destructible environments, it will only spawn gold, health, or armor, or just nothing. But I would rather attack it and it spawn nothing than it spawn hundreds of these ads that I shouldn't really be seeing this often. One final thing that I will touch on is that I do feel that some of the rewards that you get after completing some of these waves are a little lackluster. Like, I can't count the number of times where I've gotten a reward and it goes to something for a mount, and the mount only lasts like one level, so you can't bring it with you. Or it'll give me a choice to swap out my dark power, but I don't want to do that either. So I'll either have to take the power that I already have, or a power that I don't want, or an upgrade that will do absolutely nothing for me. I do feel like maybe you should get 3 options at the end. 1 to swap the forbidden power, or 2 for stat upgrades. Either that, or instead of getting the option to change the forbidden powers, maybe you can upgrade it to make it do more damage or something like that. It just feels a little lackluster whenever I see the rewards and all I get are mount upgrades that will give the mount bleed damage when it attacks, or it will stay a little bit longer when it gets hit. But of course, almost any other stat increase like luck or damage resistance, I will immediately pick up. That's usually the go-to. But back onto some of the good stuff. I do like a lot of the level design. There are some platforming things that you have to do, but this one arena right here is something that I absolutely love, where you're trapped in this room and the ceiling is coming down with spikes. You know, the usual trope, the hero gets stuck in here and you got to defeat all the enemies. But I don't know what it is, but I really like this one. It looks fantastic. It gives that sense of danger. And not only that, you just got to beat up a whole bunch of enemies, and you got to do it in a certain amount of time or you're going to die. And I wish that I had the footage of this, but I was on my ROG Ally X, and I do think that there is a Legend of Zelda reference in here, as in terms of like a pot room, a pottery room or whatever, where you hit all of these pots, they break, and they drop a bunch of gold. I'm pretty sure that's a Zelda reference, and I absolutely loved it, and I would love to see more of that in this. But overall, though, I do think that the game is a fun experience. Unfortunately, with some of the bugs, I was not able to really progress any further, so that will affect the score a bit. But as they said, this is an early access game, so there will be some bugs, there will be some stuff that won't let you progress or anything like that. But if you can at least get past that a bit, and maybe with some luck progress even further than I did, then you will have an enjoyable experience that you can even play with friends. Not only that, the price of it is even cheap as well. It's about $15 on the Xbox Game Store, and I'd say it'd be worth a pickup if you're willing to spend that. If not, I'd say maybe wait for a sale, or maybe at least wait for them to update the game, so that way you can progress without having to worry about any of these bugs that I encountered. But with that, my overall score for Mad King Redemption will be a 6 out of 10, maybe a 6.5 out of 10, but I'm going to stick with a 6 out of 10 just for safety. It is a fun game that I did thoroughly enjoy, but unfortunately with the bugs preventing me from progressing, I will have to lower the score down a bit, and I'm pretty sure that this can be fixed with updates, but as of now, that's what the score is going to have to be. However, I was able to get through all of the first biome with every single character, so there is some playability there, but I will say for now, do not play some of the characters right away until you've at least gotten some of the upgrades. But that's where I'm going to end the video here. I hope you enjoyed it, and let me know in the comments below what you think about the game, if you tried it or anything else like that. But I hope you have a good day, and I'll catch you later.